Good morning, my shop. Ooh. Ooh, there it goes. Good morning, my shopsies. Hello. My mic was glitching out. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. I am tired. It is way too early for this shit. But good morning. We're playing the Stanley Parable today, which is exciting. I'm on this screen and I'm debating whether or not I want to put in the actual time or if I'm just gonna leave it like this. I think that's funny. Accessibility settings can be accessed from the main menu. Oh, there's accessibility settings in here. Hey, yo. So our goal today is to try and get all the endings. Stanley Parable is a long game, but also not a long game. So we will see how, this goes. Because we could just, like, get through it all, like, right off the bat. But also it could take us fucking forever. Depending on how much we want to listen to the narrator. Also, congrats on getting first, Chatnubis. This is the first time you're doing so. I'm so proud of you. Good job. Absolutely wonderful. Alright, let's see. Crouch, pause, interact, move and look. Okay. Okay. I like that you could just, like, change the control scheme. Yeah. Now all of the buttons interact. Nah, we'll just keep it at X. I can hit X fine, but at the same time I was like, oh, I kind of like that I can just kind of change it. Why, hello! Eternal 1982, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the follow-a-thon. I'm adjusting settings right now. Hello, welcome, welcome. It's great to have you. I don't think I've seen you in chat before, so this is probably, I think, your first time here? If so, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm gonna be live playing the Stanley Parable for like 12 hours, so hope you enjoy chilling out with us. I am still waking up. I'm not normally live this early. I have been the past like 3 days for my follow-a-thon. But normally I go live like in how many hours? 10 hours is like when in 10 hours is when I would normally be going live, I believe, but it's fine. So we're gonna get started on this. This is, in fact, my first time, considering I just check Stanley Parable streams every few days. Valid. Totally valid. Well, feel free to stick around. We're gonna be playing this for a really long time today. So yeah, you're welcome to hang out if you want. Obviously, you don't have to. If you get bored, feel free. But otherwise, you just chill. It's been a while since I played this game. I played this game like maybe a year ago, and I vaguely remember some of the endings, but not by much. So, and this is the first time for most of my community. A lot of people were saying in my Discord and stuff that they've never played this game, so I was like, all right, well, I'll play it on stream for you. Alright, so let's get started. I don't know which ending I'm gonna go for first. I think I'm just gonna do whatever the narrator, or no, go against whatever the narrator says, because I think the opposite ending's really funny. Maybe I'm gonna go for the bucket. I like the bucket, my emotional support bucket. A follow-a-thon is kind of like a subathon, give or take, where there's specific rewards just based off of how many followers you get.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
So yeah, that's basically it.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building
Just
where
changing
he was
the metric.
employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Yeah, you can.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, this is a pretty desk area. I Don't like the drawers, though. The drawers make me feel yucky, but otherwise, this desk is pretty good. It's a pretty nice desk. Oh, what's the mug say? Does that say I hate Mondays? Honestly, mood. But yes, you can redeem both second and third. You can do that because Twitch is wonky about that. It's really hard to get the point redeems to do what you want them to do. This is I hate the carpets. Holy shit. Why did they look like this? Oh no. This is an autistic person's worst nightmare, this building. I don't like it here. I do very vague experiences. I played this game about I would say a year to 2 years ago. I didn't finish it. Like, I didn't get all the endings. I didn't like mess around with it, but I have vague experiences with it. I've listened to playthroughs kind of just in the background of my life every now and again, like live streams and stuff, but I've never like fully finished the game. And I don't fully remember how to get certain endings. I don't remember all of the endings. The ending that I remember the best is one of the emotional support bucket endings. I'm not gonna go any further on that because I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it and are watching me play through it for the first time, like they've never seen it prior to my playthrough. So yeah, that's kind of it. But yeah, also I hope I answered your question, and good job on getting second. Congratulations. But I hope I answered your question on what a followathon is. It's literally just essentially a marathon stream that you do, and then your metric that you're going off of is followers instead of subs. So it's very similar to a subathon. There are reward tiers. They're on my Twitch. Not Twitch, Twitter. Oh my god. Can you tell I'm tired? Alright, let's get started. Do I listen to the narrator or do I ignore him?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Partition core. Providing partitions for 56 years. Does that mug just say who farted? Okay, that's pretty funny. I can't get over the name Partition Core though. Yeah, whoa. Oh, whoa, buddy. I am on your desk, my guy. That's a really ugly pencil sharpener. Does that say #1 dat? Why is that mug shaped like that? Why is it huh? Okay. Ooh. Copy machine. Can I go into here? No, I don't remember being able to go into any of the other doors.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Silence. I will touch everything. I like work, I just hate my boss. What the fuck does that say? Does that just say smile? Let me in. It is a very weird shaped mug. It is a very, very, like, I don't know why it's shaped like that. It looks like it's just adhering to the table. Well, I'm a Stanley nerd through and through, so if you ever want to know some small secrets, not major, you can ask and I would guide you to one. But I'm not going to say anything unless you ask. I mean, feel free, to share any small secrets that you might find. I would just say avoid, like, ending changing secrets. I do have a guide in the background. I'm gonna try and get as many endings as I can naturally without a guide, but I do have a guide in the background that'll help us get to some of the endings in case I get lost. But otherwise, I'm gonna try and get all the endings on my own. But if you have any secrets that you know of that are just kind of around that we're running into, feel free to share. I wish I could pick up the phone. I don't like that you can't look out these windows. I mean, I feel like I probably have an idea as to why, but... Oh, there's a... Oh. I just noticed that monitor's on. Oh! Can I turn it back on? No? I just turned off. I don't know what I turned off. What did I... Did that... I don't think it did anything. Can I turn any of you guys on? No? How about you? My cat is playing in the background. I am so sorry. I think there's an ant in her, rolly toy. And so she's going at it. That's a pretty picture. Yeah, this game has so many weird random details. That's crazy. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I feel like if somebody took this asset out of the game, like ripped it straight from the game files, they could probably read the text on there. Probably say some stupid shit too. Like, but no, that's one thing I do remember is that this game was really high detail. What? Okay. Oh my gosh, that Windows Vista? Oh, no, turn that off. I don't want to feel old. Oh god, the fucking Windows Vista was a trip. I also don't like these keyboards. These are the stinky keyboards. Is that a... Keep dry! I bet it's filled with paper. Honestly, you feel just like me playing this game. Just spending like a minute in each room looking at everything ever. I like doing that with games, honestly. Why does this computer not have a power button? But this computer I feel like there are two very different computers here. And honestly, I just like looking at things, you know? Like, it's really fun to me. I like appreciating the art here. Be my Valentine. Why do you just have a mug that says be my... It's July. Almost. Actually, it's June. But shush. It's July in my brain. Surname access. We'll just turn that off. Another thing I remember about this game is that the narrator is very sassy. And I love it.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
I will continue to click on every single door now, just because you said that, you little stinker. I hope the narrator keeps talking. I fucking love the narrator. Yeah, those papers do have text written on them. A few are unique, a lot are pasted versions of random papers. Like, I think there's one about the economic relations of Austria-Hungary or something. That's hilarious. That's so good. A mug. Whose mug is this? What does that say? Fuel. Who dropped their mug? It made a stain. I don't like that stain. Ugh. Those leaves? Yes, they are. There's a ladder in there. I want to go on the ladder. I want to go up into the ceiling. Ah! Ah! Okay, there. There's a whiteboard. Sales in this quarter. Protections. This does not make sense. Don't forget to stand in the closet. Oh, if we come across the closet, I'll be sure to stand in it.
When Stanley
Because
came
of the
to
achievement.
a set of two open doors,
I do know about that one.
he entered the door on his left.
Me struggling to remember my lefts and my rights. We're going right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I'm just gonna keep clicking every door. You can probably say 10 random words and actually make a more coherent sentence than those whiteboards. Yeah, probably, honestly.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring.
Oh, there's a...
It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
There's a coffee pot. That's a really ugly coffee pot.
Really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
It is. It is insanely worth it. Cold drinks. $1.25? Why so
At this point,
expensive?
Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality.
Shut.
It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Wow. Wow. You blaming this on me? Wow.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue. But when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Well, you're still talking, buddy. Well, yeah, in 2023, 125 is good, but like I know when this game came out, 125 is so expensive for when this game came out. I still think 125 is too expensive. Yeah. Are you gonna say anything else, bud? You gonna insult me some more? Saucy, saucy narrator. You know? Okay, I think he's done now. Can I go back the way I came? No, I can't. Gotta keep going.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Nah.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh my gosh, that's so much better than what it actually is. It's like $2.50 now to get a soda out of a machine. Do not lie if you are lying right now. Stop. No. I just... Who put a mug on a ladder? Who put a mug on a... How is that... Oh, how is that mug staying? That mug should have fallen. Look at that. It's hanging there. It's hanging by a thread. I'm in. Need a key pass.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Maybe.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this
think
time.
I might be able to get down there.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you forgot.
What?
Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Oh my goodness, hello! Oh my god, hi! Oh my god, okay, hold on. Hello! Oh no! Oh my gosh! Hi! I didn't expect this! Kairu, hello! Welcome! It is so early! Hello! Welcome to the stream! The vending machine is an accent used in some Valve games, like Half-Life even. prior, so the infliction's probably more facts. Yeah, I agree. 28, holy shit. Welcome, K. Oh my god, my dyslexia. Ryuzaki. Hello. Yeah, it is a big raid. Hi, we're playing the Stanley Parable. I don't even have words. Holy, hello. We're playing the Stanley Parable. I'm gonna be live for like another 11 and a half hours. So feel free to hang out. We're gonna try and get all the endings. You guys are welcome to hang out. How was your raid? Not raid. How was your stream? How did you guys do? What did you guys do? Feel free to tell me about it. Did it go well? Did everything go according to plan? I woke up like maybe about an hour ago, so my words aren't wording. Apologies. I'm trying. Oh! Yeah, we're trying to get all the endings in Stanley Parable. I just jumped off a lift, so that's where we're at right now. But no, feel free to chill. It was the first time I played Fortnite, and I was playing with a bunch of viewers. Oh, that's really sweet. I was playing Fortnite yesterday. How did you do? Did you win any matches? Did you get any victory royales? Did your viewers carry you? I'm glad you had a good time, though. Kairu rocked his first time in Fortnite. Oh, that's really sweet. I'm so glad. That's wonderful. We got a couple of dubs. Good. I'm so glad. That's amazing. I'm so glad you had a good time. Honestly, I like playing Fortnite. Myself, it's fun, but also really stressful. And currently in this season, some of the weapons are pretty overpowered and unbalanced. So I'm glad that you were able to get through it. I hope nobody exploded you. My first time, I didn't know what was happening and won. Hey yo! Oh, that's lovely. A good memory for sure. Is that a paint can? Paint. It just says paint. I'm being sassed by the narrator right now. 2B1. Alright, what are you gonna prove to me, buddy? 2B3? B4. Boros Legionnaire, welcome into the stream. Bunny Boy and his little buns coming in.
Now listen carefully, this is important.
Okay.
Stanley walked through the red door.
The red door. I'm not listening to you, buddy.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
No, I'm not walking through the red door.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nah.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Yeah, I do. Thanks, buddy.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees?
Fishing!
Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, God.
A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before.
Ceiling light!
Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
See, do I want to help him? Or do I want to keep being a bitch? I like how the thing next to the red door is also red. It's one of those things that are used to push. I don't remember what they're called, but I know what you're talking about. I saw that too, and I was like, oh, that's a lot of red. Do I? Okay. I'll come back here later, but I want to see the developer stuff. Oh god, it's so orange. The orange is
Okay, I'm
elucidating
going to
me.
stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Um,
Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion?
I'm
you
pretty
know?
neutral.
Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Oh god. Oh no, worldwide leaderboard. Good old Neil. Skid. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Did you know that 21.3% of players skip the intro sequence? Only the worst 3% of players chose the blue door. Wow. Stanley 427 is online and 9,328. Why not ask some friends for help? Error, friends list is empty. Alright, we'll go through the store again.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
It did not. I wanted to stare at the leaderboard.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on.
Oh no.
And now would be a lovely opportunity
Oh
to
no.
give it some play testing. You
I
wouldn't
don't-
mind taking a look at it, would you?
Uh,
Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Wait. Oh no. He's booting up the new game.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
I don't like the noise. Okay. I'm letting it burn. I don't like the noise.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
No, the button
Because
noise
of
is
the latter,
annoying.
I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over.
Oh god.
Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain.
Oh no.
Let's see. What do we have here?
No, I'm not gonna do that for 4
Seems
hours.
like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
I wonder though if you can. What happens if you do it for 4 hours though? Oh my god!
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation?
Is this Firewatch?
But it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
It sounded like a Minecraft door opening. Honestly, yeah, this is funny. This is incredible. I'm planning on playing this game that this is parodying. I'm planning on playing on stream as well, so this is absolutely hilarious to me. Oh no. I agree, Boros Legionnaire. I agree. This is really funny. Alright, let's go. Open world, here we come.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
What?
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly, block it off.
Ah!
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game.
Wait.
Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Wait, why?
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Open world game scary. To me whenever I boot up Subnautica.
Wonderful.
Is
See,
this
is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
Oh, me trying to remember the
So
name of
what
this game.
exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must.
Give me a car.
Okay, Stanley. Here's
Rocket
the ball.
League, thank
Have
you.
fun.
Oh, gonna goal. Let's go. We're gonna push it into the goal.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, hold on. What are you doing?
Bye. Thank you so much for following. That was the best time to do that. Oh, God.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Oh, no. Well, I mean... Well, now this is scary. Ricky's not here. Filing cabinets. I don't know which way to go. It's kind of dark in here. You're free. Ah! Well. I'm in the back rooms, boys. I don't know where I'm going. Feel like some monster's gonna like show up and take me out. Oh God. Where the fuck am I? Oh God, it's endless. Just gonna... Okay. Oh wait. Wait a damn minute. This is formatted like the entrance hallway, isn't it? Yeah. Very similar, 427. That looks like a video editing software. Are those security cameras? Nah, thanks, man. Fun fact, the place you are currently in is a broken version of the original map of the Stanley Parable Half-Life 2 mod. Before the Stanley Parable released in 2013, the game was actually just a mod for Half-Life 2. This is a version with terrible lighting. That is so funny, and I kind of love it. I didn't know that it started as a Half-Life 2 mod. That's really cool. Oh God.
I wonder what he found.
Nothing.
If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Oh? That's ominous. You don't know which way to go if only thy narrator could tell us. Yeah, the Stanley Parable is technically a remake. Therefore, the game Ultra Deluxe is technically a remake of a remake. That's incredible. I love that. Okay, we're back here now. Penelope, stop trying to open the shoebox. Okay, no, that's a shoelace. Okay, well, we'll leave her do that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I'm just gonna...
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Whatever.
Perhaps he had
I'm
simply
just gonna...
missed a memo.
I'm just gonna try and, like, move on, because I've already inspected
Stanley
everything.
went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Shut. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Oh, wow, I claimed 3rd. Nice. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Good job on claiming 3rd. It's great. It's a mighty success. Almighty Stanley expert, what are your fun facts? It's like shaking an 8-ball. What if baby game 4 hours? No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
All right.
well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
What
Wow.
happens?
Yes, this room. What but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I'm just gonna ignore that again. Fun fact 2. This is the game's ending. It was... Hold on, This is the game's ending. It was changed in Ultra Deluxe to include Firewatch and Rocket Leader as the games. However, in the original 2013 game, the games you get teleported to are Minecraft and Portal. However, they were changed especially due to the unlikely scenario of Minecraft getting relicensed after Microsoft acquired it. Oh, that's pretty
Stanley
cool.
was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Okay. Okay, so I want to know if I can get down there. I don't think that's gonna go well. I feel so accomplished with this bronze medal. Good. I am glad. Nobody else may claim any of the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd places now. So you know that you are in the top 3. So there's 2 things I want to try. Well, 3 things I want to try here. The first one is I want to go back to the game's ending, but I want to rate everything really good all the way through to see if something different happens. I don't think anything different does, but I do want to see. The next thing I want to do is I want to try jumping just off the cargo lift onto the ground down here. I want to see what happens there. I remember something happening, but I don't remember what. I just remember something happening. And the last thing I want to do is actually listen to him and go up there and see whatever the fuck he wants. Thank you so much for lurking. Make sure you mute the tab, not the stream, and leave the tab open so your view still counts. Thank you so much for supporting and sharing your bandwidth with us. And feel free to pop back in at any given point in time. You are always welcome here. And enjoy your food, Kay. Enjoy it. Yeah, I agree. Up we go.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
What?
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you're very powerful.
Okay. All right. So we got we got that answer. That Stanley's got some debt to pay now. Oh, that's really funny. He just jump off and die. All right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
We're just gonna.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to
Shush.
the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
It's fine.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Shh.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the
Okay.
first open door on his left.
Nah. Bye.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Usually this is what happens if you try jumping off of a cargo lift from really high up in real life. So points for realism.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps
All
we've
right.
gotten off on the wrong
Let's see what
foot.
happens when we rank everything
I'm not
highly.
joking. Really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
I don't
Are
have
you
any.
that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
No buckets past this point.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
I also want to see what's on the other side of the red door, but I'm gonna do blue door first.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
I love that this is here though. Like you've mentioned it and now I'm just like looking at it. I forget what that's called. I do know it has a really stupid name
All
though.
right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well,
Yes.
don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map.
It's
Because
so
you were never supposed to be here in
boring.
the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted?
Yes.
Was it worth ruining the
I
entire
want
story
to
I'd
rate
written
your
out
game
specifically for you?
honestly.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And
Did
in
you?
the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees?
Fishing.
Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Since you are apparently going to be here for 12 hours, you may actually have time to do the baby game for 4 hours. I may, but do I want to? I don't know. Is there anything after it? I mean, I imagine there's dialogue because this game thinks of everything. But like, I don't know if it's actually meaningful. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul.
Yeah?
You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Okay.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Really? Stuff does happen when you play the
I
baby
nearly
game for
forgot I've
4
got a
hours?
prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Okay, so nothing happens. Got it.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger.
Oh.
You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting
kinda
the
hate
demands
that
of
baby.
family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
I can't jump over. Yeah, it's an ending. So when you say trying to get all the endings, we usually mean getting every ending except this one. Bye.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have?
I wish I could jump. That'd be funny.
Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Okay, so he's just gonna take us to Firewatch. So we're just gonna restart this run because this doesn't do anything. But at least I now know if you rate him highly or rate him poorly, nothing changes. And I don't think there's anything else to do in Rocket League other than continue to score goals, and I don't think that'll do anything. I think we'll just be there forever. Okay.
All of his co-workers.
All right, so let's go back to the
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to
the
meeting
lift,
room.
and this
Perhaps
time
he
we'll
had
just
simply
like
missed a
ride
memo.
it out and see what the fuck he's talking about a lover with.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
There's
Perhaps he
also
wanted to
the
stop by the employee
beta
lounge
testing
first,
thing, but
just
like
to
you
admire
just
it.
keep ignoring the things he's given
Standing
you.
now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nah, fam.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Her? Who is her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Who's her? Oh God.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone. As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Yeah.
I can't believe I was so mistaken.
Hello.
This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch.
Thank you so
I'm
much
going
for
to
the
stop game for a
follow,
moment so we can
Sheepy.
educate you properly
Hi.
on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Oh no, he's gonna give us an instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person.
God.
But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back sack and crack."
My goodness, it is 4:30. I'm supposed to be having a back sack and crack. Oh no. But no, welcome, little sheepy head. It's so great to see you.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy
Oh.
decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Oh my gosh.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction.
Oh
But not
God.
to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Okay, so really quick, fun fact, this game originally released in 2013, and this in 2022. Oh, hold on. Wait, what? What? Wait, hold on, what? And in 2013 and 2022, this means that the narrator's VA aged 9 years. However, this new dialogue still blends in pretty perfectly with the old one. I bet you couldn't tell during Firewatch. I could not, actually. I could not tell at all. Which is kind of cool. Also, welcome back, Kay. Welcome. I see you. Back from my Panda Express. Oh, Panda Express, that sounds lovely. I'm so jealous. And it's nice to see you too, Sheepy. It's lovely when I see Twitter friends pop in to stream. It always makes me really happy. Y'all are cool as all hell. It makes me super excited to see you guys. Okay. You're not giving me a choice, are you? You're just forcing me along this route, aren't you? Okay, well, you're not allowing me to jump off this time.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main
But I
character
wanna.
dying senselessly halfway through the story.
I already
that
did.
Story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Stinky narrator. Smelly narrator. Take me back. I want to destroy this place. I want to cause chaos and pandemonium. Smelly, stinky. Yeah. There's a mug on the floor. Why is there a mug on the
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Considering the narrative contradiction prior, pandemonium has already been caused. I'm gonna cause more! Okay.
Remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Bitch.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
But I don't wanna. Oh god, that filing cabinet. Oh god, that filing cabinet. Oh no, the painting. Oh no. Okay.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Oh god! Damn. That gave me a spook. Oh! Oh! Whoa! Whoa! What is happening?
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny?
Yes.
You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it.
Does he?
That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it?
No.
That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make...
Oh. Oh.
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oops, what's left and right? Honestly, I feel that, sheepy. Oh my god, no, genuinely, like genuinely. When I first booted up the game and I came to this section, I was like, I gotta remember my lesson real quick. He's really pissed. Yeah, he is. Also, welcome. Hi. So good to see you. Oh, yeah, he's angry. We made him angry. All right. This way.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Same, I still do the little hand thing to know which is left and right. Left hand does a L. Same. It's either I do that or I go, okay, right hand is what I write with most of the time, because even though I'm ambidextrous, I like to write with my right hand because most writing desks are made that way. So I'm like, okay, which hand do I prefer to write with on writing desks and whatnot? Oh, it's this one.
No!
Okay.
Why did you do that?
That
Quickly,
took forever. Oh my god.
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that?
You're
Quickly,
delaying. Okay, I think I have to go the other way.
Exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, we'll finally go through this one.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
You can walk in the right door without triggering the dialogue to restart the game. You only activate it when you walk back into it. That's a really interesting bug I've not seen before. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, that's a weird thing. I don't think that's normal. You're breaking him. I am breaking him. He's bugging. It's okay. Haven't you ever bugged before? That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All right. We'll finally take this door. Number of slides on the slide. Charts and slides. I didn't even get the chance to rate out which charts on the same slide depict the same information. Rate of increase in graphs per slide. Oh god. Please, no more charts. The boss appreciation minute. On your boss appreciation minute worksheet? There's a worksheet. I do. Solving interpersonal conflict. If you ever find yourself in a conflict with another diligent employee, like that's not how you spell yourself, but more inclined towards conflict unless you're the kind of person who, oh my god, there's so many parentheses. What are your dreams for the future? Transcend plant life, football, less air, clear skin, metamorphosis, a boat. Tips for not getting fired. Talk less, do unbelievably amazing work all the time, every day, with no exception of promotion or recognition. Don't get fired. How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive aggressively on other coworkers. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Let it ball up inside you. Oh my god. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel on all the text. This will ensure a calm and welcoming environment. Everyone is unique. You most of all. These slides are amazing, and what's worse is that I have seen stuff like this. Legitimately. Slides, charts, and slides. Like, this is quite literally a shit post, but it's so close to the real thing that it's absolutely terrifying. Some motivational posters really do be like, everyone is unique. You most of all. Broom closet! Let me in the closet. I'm not allowed in the closet, apparently. Let me in! So many useless details makes a masterpiece. I love all the details in this game. It's so good.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, I gotta go up. Oh, he's literally not letting me just fuck up. Okay.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Okay.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
There is no mic for this game. There is no way for me to speak this code.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
There is no mic here, my dude. And I don't think if there was, the game would be able to recognize.
Sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
I'm sorry. I can't this time.
This time I'm not just biting you, my dude.
Okay, fine. You're not gonna do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there.
I mean, I
did you come
did.
this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You...
Oh, shit.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you...
Is that what Stanley looks like?
Okay.
Damn.
Please, I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please.
Aw.
Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs
Yeah,
it.
what an end to that.
You hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the...
Make this guy want to restart your game? Yeah, I do. Fun fact, the code NightShark115 is another reference to the Half-Life 2 mod of the Stanley Parable. In the Half-Life 2 mod's version of the game's ending, disobeying as much as possible, the narrator tells you a fun fact about night sharks. That's really cool, actually. I kind of love that. I love how much you know about this game. It's really nice. One of my favorite hobbies is listening to other people talk about their special interests or things that they know so much about. So you're just like, you're just making my day right now, just gushing to me about this. I just love hearing people talk about things that they're knowledgeable about. It's like one of my favorite things to do. Okay, so... Okay, let's pick up the phone this time.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something?
Let's go in and instead of unplugging the phone, picking it up. You're a fun fact machine. Good. Favorite kind of person is the people that know everything.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Second, why are you rifling through the recycling? You're just strutting over to me. So, okay, there's a lot of new people in chat. Second is my cat. I have a couple cats, but she is a menace and she bothers me a lot when I'm streaming, especially in the mornings. Hello, Second. And she was just like playing with the recycling for some reason. Hi. Oh, that's my shoulder. What are you doing? Why? I gave you my lap. Why are you on my shoulder? Hey, can you get down? Oh, come on. Lay in my lap. Yeah, lay down there. Yeah, if you're gonna lay on me, you might as well lay down there. Oh, you're so cute. She's a COVID kitty. She demands attention. Yeah, she does. She's used to everybody being in lockdown. So yeah, it's awesome. She is a baby. She's turning 3 in October. And she's really tiny, actually. She was the runt of her litter. But she's still a spicy kitty, isn't that right, Second? She's really smart and also really, really mischievous. She gets into a lot of trouble. Oh, okay, I'll give you pets. Okay, there you go. I'm planning on posting pictures of her to my Twitter soon, so y'all can see her. Okay.
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before.
Hey, can you stop a second?
Was it this room? A connection between the two?
What the?
Could a man
love
a room? I mean, truly, deeply, madly love.
What? What?
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking but eager to get back to business.
What the fuck was that line? Could you be in love with a room? Second, can you please not scratch my chair? Thanks. You have a scratching post. I would really like no more holes in my chair.
Following directions, it's incredible he wasn't
Okay.
5 years ago.
We're gonna pick up the phone.
Perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you
I agree.
all this time.
But I just didn't expect that voice line
Someone you've forgotten
to come up out of out of nowhere.
Stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Oh god. Every time.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on.
She's terrifying.
Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
What?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
Oh,
now
no, I'm not
he's
going
pushing
to.
a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
No, I'm not pressing the button. No. No, absolutely not. Like, oh my god, run away. Yeah, no, I was like, okay. Next time let it ring. I feel like nothing really would happen though. I did press everything else. Yeah, every time you go to the employee lounge, that first dialogue changes, really? Okay, I gotta start paying more attention. Forever alone. Run down the hall next time. Oh, I could have done that.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that
I don't
none
like
of it
how
would ever
this
happen
model
to him.
looks.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First,
What?
he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Press X to spend time with the boys! Oh my god. Yes?
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
This ending is trippy. Have you noticed how this ending pretty much contradicts the last one completely? I have, actually. It's fucking insane.
I suppose
Whoa.
I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley
Please
pushed a button.
die.
And I tried.
Oh! I didn't like that there was just text that said, please die. That was a little freaky. I've never seen this ending before. Hmm. Oh, I don't know if there's anything there. Can our local fun fact expert tell us, if we pick up the phone and then run down the hall, is there anything that changes? Is there an ending there? Technically, yes, but it's not a whole new ending. Is it, like, technically part of another ending? Like, essentially the same kind of shtick, but with a slightly different twist? Because I know there's a lot of, ones like that. Oh!
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Oh god. I was wondering when you were gonna close the door. Yeah, honestly, I just was like, oh, you know, I can close most doors. Let me click on this one. And it closed. It gave me something. To door 417. Sure. I can do that. Okay. 417. So this is 427.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
47 here. Okay. And then when you're at 417, the two doors around it, sure.
Oh, and I guess this is where Stanley felt he needed to be right now, in this little hallway. Here, with no distractions, to study room 417. Not to actually enter it. No. That would be far too forward. Stanley wanted to know it from the outside. To see it not just with his eyes, but with his heart. He would know room 417 as no man or woman had ever known an office before. That ladder over there. Oh, and that little picture of a horizon or something. It's all just a never-ending parade of joy for Stanley.
I love this. That is so cool. I feel safe in my hallway. This is my comfort hallway. Thank you. My little safe space. You can't get me in here. I'm happy where I'm at. Thank you for showing me this. That was incredible. Oh, that's really cute.
No, apparently not.
What? That's adorable. I love that. That made my heart warm for some reason. This is a nice little safe hallway. Alright, thinking. Let's... Wanna... Do I get anything for turning off all the monitors? What? Huh? Okay. Are there any other monitors? Oh! Huh? I need to... feel like this leads to something.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, hello? I'm up here now. Okay. Okay. I like being on- What? 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 I'm on another desk? Hey, yo! Oh! Can I go out the window? Can I? Let me out the window. I want to go out the window. Can I go out the window?
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Okay. I have no idea why this exists. If you're stuck for endings, you can always, you know, go in the left door. Don't worry, I plan to. Just be on the lookout for those monitors every once in a while. They show up sometimes. You are probably the first person I've seen naturally get this ending without looking it up. Well, how I knew I could jump onto that table because I did it, and then I got up onto the partition somehow, and I was like, oh, I'm up here now. The window is right there. There's a ledge on the window. Can I get through that? And then I did. And I was very pleased with myself. I didn't think it would let me through, but I wanted to see if I could get on the little, like, ledge thing. I didn't think it would actually, like, drop me out of the window. No. Alright, we'll click yes. Oh, is it? Oh. Well, I mean... I guess I went the hard way. To be honest, I saw you huddled on the window and was like... That's fair.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just restart the game any old time you want. Like, right now. You could have done it just then.
I don't wanna.
Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any
Nah.
of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
Oh, this is nice.
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly.
Stop!
But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function.
Oh!
Which is why he is in this parable. and lives an existence quite terrible.
Why is
And
the
if you are
narrator's
not
voice
strong
high key,
and
very
keep
pleasant to
playing
listen to?
along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yes. You too will become quite unbearable.
I like that. Yay, encore! Encore! Greatest song of all time. Agreed. Why does his voice sound so nice? You guys can't tell I'm crouching. This is so nice and pleasant. I could listen to this for a while. There's probably some academic study on why voices sound good. There is, actually. He doesn't want to sing now. No! Sing again! Your voice is so pretty. Props to the... I don't know if the person who, like, made the original mod, because you said it was a Half-Life 2 mod. I don't know if the person that originally made the mod is the voice actor. I'm pretty sure that's probably a safe bet to say that, but whoever it is, whoever the voice talent is, chef kiss. It's so good. It's so full of emotion while at the same time not being full of emotion, like being a good narrator. And the inflection's great. It's very easy to hear. Really good, grade A voice talent. There's just so much personality there. I live for it. No more song? Boo! Bring back the song. Bring back the song. You were struggling because Stanley's just too tall for the window most of the time. Really? I don't know how I managed then. Greatest song of all time. There's probably some academic study. Yeah, he doesn't. I knew this game was good, but I didn't know the hidden lore. Yeah, there's hidden lore. Okay, I think I have to restart. I don't think I get a choice now. Silence forever. Sobs. Nah. It was such a nice singing voice. It was so pleasant. I'm still surprised I managed to do that. Honestly. Alright. So. Where we want to go this time? Okay, hold on. I gotta look at my other chat. Hold on. Davey Reedon is the creator of Stanley Parable. He's not the voice for the narrator. Story goes, he put up the role of the narrator on one of those audition websites, and Kevin Brighting, the voice of the narrator, applied for it. Davey accepted it immediately. Oh, that's so cute. I love that story. Yeah, it was a good choice. It was definitely a good choice.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Yeah?
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
It's really funny, by the way, that the first thing I did when I started this and got into this room was analyze everything and then come up to the window and go, why can't I see outside? And now I know why. And that just makes it all the better. Alright, now I'm gonna go on the hunt for monitors. Try and... Huh? Why does the input received keep going up? What happens if I fill it up? Can I... Do I have to click on that monitor every playthrough? Does it do something? Because I can't click on it more than once per playthrough. I'm noticing, because I clicked on it first last time before I jumped out the window, and the bar went up, and then I clicked it once this time, and the bar went up again. So do I, the next 3 playthroughs, do I have to just keep clicking it? Don't answer that question. That's hypothetical. I'm gonna figure it out, but don't worry. Then I was just like, do I just keep clicking on it? There's a monitor on in that room. I want to click on it. That looks like... That's 425? I guess I'm gonna have to go through the left door to do that. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yo, am I onto something? Hey, yo! Yeah, just be on the lookout. Okay, so I'm onto something then. Okay, I don't know what this is, but I'm excited to find out if I eventually get there. That's exciting. Okay, cool. I'm glad I'm not just like tapping into the void. I mean, I don't think I would. This game doesn't seem the type to put random shit down for no reason that you can interact with. Interactables seem important in every way, so thank you. Kevin is also the narrator for the original Half-Life 2 mod. He sounds quite different in that mod. It's interesting to listen. I'll have to give it a listen. That sounds really cool, actually. Okay. Left door.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Okay.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. Interesting. This is the type of game where you could try to jump out a window and actually get rewarded for it. Exactly. Precisely. Targets. Push for funding for our research and development of new copy machine. Standardized graphics. 40 times wide. Not cost efficient. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Why is Chris in the broom closet? Synergize papers. Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy. Who moved my desk? Please keep the targets on the topic of erased. Employee 417, 405, 491, 416, 431. And Jim! It's a little face. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. Right next day's agenda. Reflect. The future was yesterday. Tomorrow is now. What the fuck does that mean? Oh, these graphs. This page contains no information. Something about that. Something about that got me. This page contains no information. Synergize core value expenditures. Shift global market parade. I think the E is covered up. Monetize free to play. The page has spoken to you about its information. I appreciate it. I appreciate a transparent page.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
No. Mop water.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
I like the broom closet. Look, I'm a broom. I'm a broom.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Sweet FA. I'm a broom. I'm a broom.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing?
Yes.
Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
In my brain, my energy is just knife cat.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, At least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
The thing is, the narrator is right. There is actually nothing to do in the broom closet except listen to the epic narrator.
This is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
The typo in the closed captions got me.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yo!
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed in front of your screen. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
That is so funny. Can you imagine actually playing this game out loud and somebody hears that? But also, additionally, can you imagine if instead they actually notified the authorities? I think that would also be absolutely tragic. It's funny to think about it, but also tragic because it's a waste of emergency services. But still kind of funny. I think it could work if somebody had a really loud speaker. I think so. I think you're an excellent broom. Thank you. I try. And thank you so much for the hydrate. Let me just redeem that real quick. I'm gonna take a sip of my Gatorlight. If you don't know, Gatorlight is essentially Gatorade's more like electrolyte intensive drink. And so I drink it even though it tastes really salty because I have POTS. So it helps me regulate. I'm opening that. Ugh, it's really hard to open. Holy shit. It's also strawberry kiwi. Salty. Okay. So yeah, fun fact. It's their rapid rehydration stuff. Because I dehydrate way too easily and I just need electrolytes in general. Because POTS sucks. Anyhow. So I'm done being a broom now.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
There's a red light down there. Well, we're going to hell. Why is it so red? Fire hose.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example,
Excuse me.
why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Valid
Why did
point.
doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue.
1, 2,
He just
B4.
hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up.
Holy shit.
How was
Hello?
he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Oh.
Stanley began screaming.
Ah!
Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh, I just popped my neck.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Damn. Okay, a couple things. Internal dialogue was mentioned. I think that's really funny, and I felt the need to comment on this. 50% of the population has a voice that speaks to them in their head as like an internal dialogue. Other people, like when they think, the remaining 50% just kind of have images. And I'm a person that has an internal dialogue, so hearing him go, oh yeah, no, why is this voice dictating everything Stanley is doing? Made me laugh because I have an internal dialogue. Like, that's how I think. I think through a voice that is speaking in my head. And this is like totally normal. And I just think that's just so funny that it's insinuating that Stanley doesn't have an internal dialogue. Maybe he doesn't, but I'm just here like, ah, yes, internal dialogue. This is totally normal. Just a fun comment. I thought that would be interesting to share. Fun fact, one of these rooms has a set of 4 clocks. Yeah, we saw that, with numbers above it. The numbers are 1, 2, B4. This is a reference to the fact Valve doesn't make third iterations to their games. I didn't know that, actually. I didn't realize that. That's fascinating.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
All right, we'll go up to
How
the
hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find
boss
a
room
trace
this
of
time.
his co-workers.
I cannot imagine not having a voice that just comments on everything I am doing or want to do. Yeah, I can't either. So I hear people who are like, oh, you have an internal dialogue, that's weird. I'm like, no, it's not weird though. Like, it just kind of happens, you know? I need to find the one screen. Where are you? Where is it this time? I wanna, There's a screen in there that's playing solitaire, but I don't think I can get to 4B6 or 425. I don't think I can. 420! Nice. And there's a plant outside of it. Cool. Don't know if that was intended, but that's funny. But no, if you don't have an internal dialogue, let me know, because I would like to know, and I would like to understand. Because I don't.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, this game has a lot of Valve Portal Half-Life synergy because the original game was developed in Source, which is the engine used to make all Valve games. The Ultra Original was a Half-Life 2 mod, and Valve allowed the devs to use Portal for that game's ending. So there's a lot of Valve stuff going on. Yeah, I could see that, and that's pretty cool, actually. I kind of love that. I like how, like, chill Valve has been about it. Honestly, I don't know if their stance has changed in recent years, but like I like how chill it seems they've been about it. Like, that's kind of nice.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
This game is very nice. I like this game a lot. It's definitely up there with some of my favorite experiences in games. Alright, we've already been in the broom closet. We don't need to go back in there.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Executive bathroom. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Extreme bathroom. Time magazine. You can never have too many broom closets. You gotta get every achievement. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get every achievement, but we're gonna try to get as many as we can, and hopefully we run out of time before I have to do the baby. There you are. I found it. Oh, this is the entrance. Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication
I don't
of
wanna
any
be
human
here.
life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
By the way, if I remember correctly, there's something that happens if you manage to get shut out of this room. Like, you walk in and then you quickly walk back, if I'm remembering
Stanley just sat
correctly.
around twiddling his thumbs, trying to
So we'll
input
try to do
anything
that
on the device
next
was
time. I
useless,
tried to do
since
it this
he could
time and
never
I just
possibly
fucked
know
up.
that
I
the
mucked it up.
combination was 2845.
There we go.
Incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
To get every achievement, you need to play the game for 10 years. Unlikely to happen today. Yep. Since 10 years is more than a day. Yep. This office is different to the one you had to speak the code to in that other ending. I did notice that. This is meant to be a bit of a confusing detail, but since you did that other ending before getting here at all, you did not get confused. No, I did not get confused, which is very cool. I did notice that when I got here, and I was like, oh, that's different, isn't it? I fucked up. There's a thing you can do where, and I don't remember if I ever got an ending associated with this, but I wanted to do it. Where essentially if you walk in and then you quickly step back into this room, it'll shut you out of the office and the narrator just will stop talking. And I wanted to show that off. Maybe do some backtracking because I don't remember the end for that. If there is an end or if it just gets you stuck. I don't think it gets you stuck. Knowing this game, I don't think it gets you stuck. I think there's something there. But I forgot. I couldn't do it. I failed. I fucked it up. So I'm gonna try again next time. Don't worry, I got it. I don't like how dark this elevator is. Down the left. Oh, it's loading. We're going to a whole new map.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
There is an absolutely gigantic generator there whose point is to power a single light a bit overboard. Yeah, really? I didn't even notice that. That's funny. I kind of that makes me
Stanley
giggle.
walked straight ahead
Whoa.
through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Sure.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Did you look it up? Did you look up the baby end? All right. Yeah. Okay, cool. Maybe we'll get to that just at the end. We'll do that last. Oh, God.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
New narrator? No, bring me back the other narrator.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Huh. Stanley's computer. Nature paintings. Do you think it's necessary to have some creepy scene in this game? I do. I think it sends a message. I think it's necessary. I want to see. Well, you'll be able to see maybe. I think we might have time to do it. Office layout. The blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. That's really cool. I love these little tidbits. It feels so personal. So pleasant. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. The two doors. The set of the two open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. I think it's silly. Filing cabinets. Office computers. Yes! I turned them off. Button sounds. A selection of the button sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Interesting. Model design. I'm not even gonna read that first name. Original music, sound design, additional music, additional voice work. Credits. I'm just gonna leave these on so people can read them if they so choose. Yeah. The museum is so fun. I used to just like chill here looking at all of it for like half an hour. I might look at all of it for half an hour. Look at how cool this is. I kind of love it. Maintenance room, an early version of the maintenance room. Ooh. 431 through 436. The fax machine. Okay, but baby. No, I'm gonna chill here. Chill here. You can get the baby at the end. The office. You get baby at end. It'll be a nice end reward. Is that just money? I want to know the context of that. Fun. Is that YouTube? Is that OG YouTube on the screen? Oh, that's incredible. Okay. Ultra Deluxe announcements. In December 2018, we announced the Ultra Deluxe version of the Stanley Parable at the Game Awards. These are screenshots of the videos we made for our announcement and the game's delay. Oh. The absolute fastest speedrun of the baby goes is 4 hours and 20 seconds, so getting the baby takes more than 20 seconds, so it's technically faster than 4 hours. Huh. That's interesting. Why does that look like Tron? Warzone. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Okay, that's valid. I kind of wish I saw that ending, though. Because that sounds really funny. Yes, I'm saying I'm learning some useful information here. It's very cool stuff. The Lounge, an early version of The Lounge. The Office, just office items, you know? Narrator emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these for other promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. From Art, subject, regarding your game in the works. Dear narrator, I appreciate the previous Stanley games as a work of art and its standalone title. I appreciate the credit given to Art. Which, oh, dear narrator, will the Stanley Parable have infinite quests? How many endings of the Stanley Parable is really going to let me go shopping? I hope it will have a fine selection of desert boots. 1. How do you make a JRPG? 2. How do you make the worst game ever? 3. What is the difference between a duck? Between a duck? Only one duck? Hello there, Wimpy Wolf. Welcome to the stream. I don't think you've been here before. How's the game going? I hope it's as good or better than the first one. From a cool man. I don't think you've been in... Are you a rock? I don't think you've ever been in stream before. But welcome. So happy to have you here. Welcome, welcome. Feel free to hang out. Could you tell me what the significance of the number 1112800 is? These questions are so good. Oh, you are a part of a raid? Oh, that's awesome. Well, the thing I want to know is, what would you do if Stanley entered any other rooms? Really? Wait, was there a raid? Which raid? Which raid were you part of? For instance, on a scale of Max Ernst to Salvador Dali, how surreal will this game be? Yeah, oh, awesome. How are you? I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing okay. I'm doing all right. I'm stretching real quick. Sorry. I'm stretching, I'll yawn. Okay, let me see. That screenshot with money in it is from the trailer for this game. The trailers are all fun. You should check them out if there's nothing else to do in 9 hours. Okay, that seems like fun. I could 100% look at them. Oh, okay, that's awesome. That is so valid. Yeah, okay. I figured it was that raid. I was like, wait a second. Was there another raid that I missed? Because I've done that before where people have raided in and I just didn't notice because I was so enveloped in what I was playing. But that is so valid. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. So happy to have you. So glad you're here. You were valid for lurking. I didn't mind that at all. Phone. The apartment timer. In a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Oh, so there's not a different ending now for not picking up the phone. Okay. The cargo lift. The second version is functionally the same as what's in the final game, but we wanted it to look more like a place where cargo was actually stored. Okay, that's valid. The cargo lift. The cargo lift was always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping to a different path. However, after this early version, we decided we also wanted the option of the player falling to their death. We wanted you to be able to just, like, die. Meeting room. Okay. Oh, that's what the projector looks like? That's funny. I like how green the lens is. Okay. Number 1. One option. Doorway to maintenance in the lounge. Obey, disobey. First choice. Lounge. Maintenance. Staircase. Number 3. One option. A doorway to maintenance in the lounge and the original back on track option. Okay. Number 2, 2 options. 2 doorways to maintenance. Number 4, vent. What about this? Just a vent. Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways following the first 2 doors was important to get right, since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. Aw, that's really cool, actually. There's a chair right here. I had no idea I was in the raid. That is so fair. Focusing on game is not wrong. No, I don't think it is. I do feel bad, though, not shouting people out when they raid and then just being like, oh shit. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to overlook you guys. Because, like, it's nice to shout people out when they raid and to thank them because they're sending people my way. And so I might as well give them some recognition. Like, that's the least I could do is thanks. You know what I mean? Oh, I forgot to give a shout out to the, I should have done that. Damn. Okay, to be fair, it's really early. It was really early when that raid happened. Man. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'll remember next time. I normally shout people out when they raid, and I just like it totally slipped my mind because none of my well, now I have a mod in the chat, but none of my mods were awake at the time, so they normally do it for me, and then I just forgot. That's okay. Yeah, I do always shout out on Twitter though, like because I go through my events history, stream event history when after stream, so I can like screen cap stuff and be like, oh, thank you, XY person for following. Thank you, XY person for subbing. Oh, thank you, XY person for the raid. So I already do that. But it just sucks that I forgot to shout out. Oh well, it's okay. I'm sure he doesn't mind. The not picking up the phone ending probably just transformed into the ending for unplugging the phone. Yeah, I agree. It probably did. All right, let's come check this out. The game is now paused. Begin the game again. Resume the game. Options. Return to menu. Escape menu. For a long time, we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. Oh, that's really funny. But also, yeah, I could see how that could be confusing. Zending. This screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Huh. Zending model. The Zending went through many iterations. This room represents the 4th version of the ending, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it again shortly before launch. Oh no. I mean valid, but also oh no. Zending levers. These levers were originally part of the Zending. The players would pull a lever, and the narrator would describe what color they had pulled. I don't want to go in that room yet. Oh, let's go in that room. Trailers. We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. This is the first one, released in May 2012. It features a series of broken rooms and the voice of the narrator informing viewers that he is repairing a new version of the Stanley Parable. Huh. That's cool. I like that. Okay, I've been through there. Been through there. Did I go through this store? I did not. Countdown room, an early version of the countdown room, which we haven't seen yet. Countdown desk. One of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending. Interesting. Freedom ending. This is the freedom ending as it existed in beta. Monitor room elevator. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could go up or down with the freedom of above and countdown below. We abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down, and placed the two endings together instead. My cat is sneezing. Game design mock-up. This is the level that William, the level designer, sent Davey, the writer, as a kind of audition piece. The strength of this level got William hired to design the full game. Though much of the environment has changed, the basic layout from this mock-up is still in the game. Huh. That's really interesting. Oh, now we're back here. Oh, that's the lounge. Okay, so we came back through here. Okay. I think this is the last room other than the one that we skipped. Stanley's office. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first was created in November 2011, the second in March 2012, and the third in February 2013. Huh. Okay, let me just check to be sure. Because we checked there. We looked in here, because these are the letters. For some reason, while you can look at this trailer, you can't hear the trailer from the game. So you just get to look at it. Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. Imagine if your life was an exhibition to others. Wouldn't that be the most embarrassing thing in your life? It might be, but it depends. Like, it depends on the framework of the exhibition, I think. Because there are some things where I'm like, oh, yeah, you know, if it's, portrayed in a way of like, oh, this is the beauty of human life, then I could be comfortable with that. But if it's like, oh, look at this freak, then I'd be less comfortable with that, you know what I mean? It's all about tone, I think. Screens from the development of the boss's office. And the middle one's, in my opinion, the closest to what we've gotten. Office clock. Just the office clock. Nothing else, just office clock. Freedom ending. This was the first incarnation of the freedom ending and is in the game's alpha. Okay.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Okay.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save those two. You can stop the program before they both fail.
Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game.
As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Huh. How about that? It's like, turn off your PlayStation. Thanks for referencing the fact that I'm playing this on PlayStation. Because I am, in fact, playing this on PlayStation. I would not be able to run OBS and Stanley Parable at the same time. But it is kind of funny that they were like, turn off your PlayStation. And I was like, oh, okay. Did you record different dialogue for each version? Okay. So that was a cool ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley
Why is it
looked,
so loud
he
out
couldn't
here?
find a trace of his co-workers.
Is that normal? Why is it so loud?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Okay, so I think I have to turn off all the monitors first, and then I can click this. Because now that I've clicked it, nothing changed. I don't think. Unless it didn't register. Why is that so loud over there? What is going on out here? Why are all the windows so loud? Is that normal? I don't think that's normal. I don't remember the windows all being very loud like that. Okay, now let's try and go back. Can I input now? Okay, it didn't count. So we're just gonna have to move on. Fun fact, in the original 2013 game version of the museum ending, when you get crushed, the game doesn't restart you. You just stay there on a purely black screen until you restart. They changed it due to confusion. Yeah, I was thinking that. I was thinking like, oh, is it just gonna leave me here? If it leaves me here for another like 2 minutes, I'm gonna restart. But that's fair though. This game is very meta. It seems like it can confuse a lot of people a lot.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
All right. Why? Why are you so loud?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Is this normal? I don't think this is normal. This is bugging me. Okay, let's see if I can get out the door. Okay, that's totally fine. Enjoy your food. Hope it tastes good. I'm going on break in half an hour. Oh shit. All right, let's see if I can get this now.
Stepping in.
Ha! All right, we're gonna go back. I want to see if this leads anywhere. Are all the doors open now? They are. What happens if I go all the way back? I'm so glad I got through here. Okay. Does this lead to anything, though? That's the question. I don't know, or am I just, like, kind of stuck here? Man, can I go all the way back? Am I really able to do this? Wait. That door's open. Why is that door open? I didn't think I could go all the way back, and then I saw that door open. You are now leaving? Escape pod bay. I'm escaping. I'm a renegade. I don't remember the number that they said the escape pod was on. Just gonna keep going. Because the number is changing. Like, we are... Huh. We are going up. Finally escape this plain place. this hellish nightmare. Escape pod launch bay. What does that do? Oh, it's loading. What does that do? What is this? I didn't think this would be an ending. I didn't think there would actually be an ending for this. That did nothing. Whoa! All right. What'd that do? Oh. Welcome, Stanley, to heaven. I'm in heaven. It's just buttons. It's just buttons. Oh my god, it's just buttons. He can just push buttons. Get it? Because his favorite thing to do is pushing buttons? What happens if I push all of them? Am I really gonna do this? Yes, I am. It can't take as long as a Project Diva chart, can it? Okay, so they do stay dark. We're gonna push every button because I need to see where this goes. Oh my god, what the fuck is this? Biblically accurate button. Do they restart after a while? No, I'll never be able to push them all. What do I do now? Is this it? So, oh, Stanley expert's getting food. Okay, so we're gonna begin the game again because I don't think there's anything I could do there. That was really funny. I kind of loved that. Okay. All right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I just think it's really funny that it was like, oh yes, welcome to heaven. Okay. New content?
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
New content? I want to know about new content. Where does this take us? Where are we going?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh god.
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Uh-huh.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Huh.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Yeah? DLC? Kind of? It's like a remaster of the
Okay,
game.
So far, it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Yeah? We still haven't gotten the actual ending.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if them... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley.
He's so excited. Oh.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
I'm gonna use all of my jumps. I have 13 jumps. I love that I have a limited amount of jumps. Oh. I can no longer jump. That was sad.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
No, nothing else, just jump circle.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
I can't jump off here. Oh, it's so unfortunate.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
On Twitter?
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid.
I think
It
there
could
is
never have lived up
actually
to
a
such
trophy that just says,
expectations. If you're
"Test
still with
trophy,
me,
please
why don't
ignore."
we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
All right. Well, we'll have a good time. I love that they're just kind of ragging on themselves, and that's really funny. I feel like a lot of the appeal of the Stanley Parable is the narrator. Like, he just carries the game so hard, and I love it. Okay. All right. Where are we? Am I in the basement? Am I in some torture dungeon? Oh.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
I'm going to go. I want to see what he wants to show me. Ah, it's the new content. Yeah. We went to Button Heaven, by the way. That was pretty cool. But yeah, we're exploring the new content. Pen, if you don't stop with that box, I'ma take it away. Stop it. Stop trying to get in the shoebox. Stop it. Pen is another one of my cats. Okay, hold on. I gotta get her to stop messing with the shoebox. Give me 1 second. Penelope. Pen, honey. You're gonna make me get up. Come here. Hey. What are you doing? Yeah. Sit down. Okay. Now you can't get in the box. Are you happy? I'll put you in your favorite spot as an apology for taking your shoebox away. But you were picking it. Okay, I'm back. Mostly, I gotta put my headphones back on and put my blanket back on. Okay. Sorry about that. She was really scratching at that box. When I first booted up the game, did you press that you hadn't played the Stanley Parable before? I did, actually. I did, because even though I had played it, I wanted the game to treat me like I hadn't. Because most of my viewers haven't played the game. So I was mostly doing it for them. For the sake of streaming. So yeah. Okay, resume the game.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special, and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
If you press the button saying that you had played the game before, the new content door would have shown up much, much earlier. Oh, that is cool. That's fair. And that is really cool, actually. And we are playing the Stanley Parable. It's a very good game. I recommend it. It's really funny. It's really funny. It's really witty. It's right up there. It's a great game, honestly. What the fuck is this? I hate the office chairs in the castle. But no, it's a good thing that I don't mind that we didn't select that then and that the door didn't show up sooner, for the sheer reason that we were too preoccupied with all of the endings on the right side, and I don't even think we got all the endings on the right side. There you go.
Call it the memory zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
The memory zone?
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
I love that they're just like essentially just ragging on themselves. It's so good. Me who's playing it on PlayStation. In loving memory, the Stanley Parable. The original remake. Buy on pressurized gas. Or download the demo for free. Linguistics identify 15,000-year-old ultra-conserved words. The Washington Post. Researchers identify 24 words whose sound and meaning have survived the past 15,000 years. 6 components of a great corporate culture. John Coleman, Harvard Business Review. Business bloggers at Harvard Business Review discuss a variety of business topics, including managing people, innovation, leadership, and more. I can't believe they saved the ads on the side of the page. God. What everyone's saying. In Mozilla Firefox. God, that looks old. All right, good times. The dialogue changes depending on what console you're playing on. That is so funny. I love that. Indoors Monthly, Time, Shapes, Graphs, National Geographic's Cargo. Cargo. Operator's Manual. Why are these here? Are you okay? There's a cat sneezing over there. I'm guessing they smelled something they shouldn't have. Don't forget the Stanley Parable. Memory, sweet memory. This is incredible. I love all of this. There's a desk. Our first kiss. My first car. The release of the Stanley Parable in 2013. God. Oh no. I tripped down memory lane. Smile because it happened. A $1 bill? Bro, why is there just a $1 bill here? A Stanley Parable demonstration. Begin the demo. Oh, that's cool. Unbelievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. Go outside. Don't play for 5 years. Oh, oh my god. British Academy of Film and Television Arts. Nominee. British Academy Award. Game Innovation. Debut game. Story. Yeah, that's fair. This game is really good. New video game releasing today. New York Times. New York, Thursday, October 17th, 2013. All the news that's fit to print. Creators surprisingly down to earth. I don't know if this is a real article, but knowing the New York Times, I kind of don't doubt it. Like, I kind of can buy that that's a headline they use. I could kind of buy it. I don't know if it's real, but I could 100% buy it. Stanley Parable deals tough choices. I could also buy that this is the LA Times, like 100%, because their headlines are always really, really weird and feel very liminal. In loving memory, little Stanley. Oh, I'm guessing that was like Office Pet and the developers. It's Mr. Crab's first daughter. Yeah, it really is. This is basically just a gigantic wall of things that were in the Stanley Parable back then. What is this music? But are now not, and other stuff like awards and dollar bills. That's cool. Why is this music playing? Huh? Is this French? This is French. I know, because I speak a little French, so that's why I was like, oh my gosh, is this French? Yes, they made a French song about the memories. Bro.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. 3? It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Don't read any reviews except this one. How do you review a game like Stanley Parable? To describe any one part of it is to risk its ruination. To detail what it has to say about game design, the illusion of choice, and the psychology of the gamer is to tell you too much. Comparisons, too, are going to be woefully inadequate. Perhaps its closest cousin would be Dear Esther, but where Dear Esther wastes the form of interactive entertainment, Stanley Parable uses and then subverts it. Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created. Even so, holding the game to the standards of any other title is simply not going to be correct. So how do you review what has become known as the Stanley Parable HD, the full-scale reimagining of one of the most intriguing mods available online? How do you discuss it, analyze it, and recommend it? That's quite simple. You don't. 10 out of 10. Nice! That's a pretty damn good review. Holy shit. Alright, so now we're here. We can come down this way. Memory zone maintenance. Let me in. Fire. I want to go in the memory zone maintenance store. I don't think I'm allowed. The original remake. The end is never the end. The greatest wealth is memory. For Scott K. Red door, blue door. Aw. Tie? Where's a tie? Is that a coaster? Me who loves coasters, just like, is that a coaster? I want to get back here. Apparently I can't. Smile button. The globe. Can I spin the globe? No, I can't. How disappointing.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
The Stanley Parable got a collector's edition. It has a really funny manual. Oh, I'll have to look that up. That sounds really funny. I can imagine the bad. Nothing. The good, spectacularly funny, packed with meaningful choices that offer delightfully surprising results, simultaneously incredible, smart, and wickedly entertaining. I have always been someone who wants to go the wrong way first in games. Mood. When I sense that a game is trying to usher me down a particular path, to get me to run from left to right, or maybe to charge straight ahead, I need to satisfy my instinct to go against the grain, to explore and see what the designers have put back the other way. Sometimes I find a one-up or a collectible stashed away to reward me for my intrepid behavior. At other times, my explorations are rewarded only by the crushing disappointment of running up against an invisible wall. Whatever I find or don't find, my action is a manifestation of my desire to exert some independence, to make my own choices within a system that severely limits my options and encourages certain specific behaviors. The Stanley Parable feels alive in its responsiveness to your choices, and it's a desire to subvert your expectations and keep you on your toes. I think of the Stanley Parable as a sort of video game analog for Charlie Kaufman and Spike Jonze's brilliant film adaptation, which greatly mocked the ways in which so many films manipulate audiences with formulaic plot twists and situations in which characters learn huge life lessons, while simultaneously moving me with its formulaic plot twists and situations in which characters learned huge life lessons. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and in other systems too, like our workplaces and our families, and a game that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. Going the wrong way has never felt so right. You know, I can agree on that one. I too like to make the wrong choice in games and do the wrong thing, unless it's like specifically a game that is built on choice. In which case, if it's a game that's built on choice where the situation is just like, oh, your choices affect the ending, I like to go with my gut instinct of what I want and what I would do in those situations, and then eventually just go and discover the rest. But otherwise, I like making the wrong choices. I think the wrong choices are fun, to be able to have independence and just kind of work against it, because life is so formulaic as it is. So I could totally get what that person's saying in every way. And I think that's what makes this game really beautiful, is its actual feeling of choice. It's not just an illusion of choice. There is choice, and that's kind of very pleasant, I think. The game was perfect, the narrative says while reading a 9 out of 10 review. Yeah, you can't win everyone. So this door opened, but there is no way for me to get through here. The serious room. Let me in. I guess it wasn't meant to be.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Recommended. Not recommended.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
I wonder if the person who left that review saw that review was then used in the game. Because I feel like that's a genuine review. Like, I managed to read through it all before it fell. I just didn't get the chance to read it again out loud. And I do wonder if the person that wrote that saw it in the game later. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Pressurized Gas is the play on the word Steam, since they couldn't say Steam for the console editions. Yeah, I saw that. I realized that. I was like, Pressurized Gas? You mean Steam? And I saw how the comment was set up, and I was like, oh, that's totally a Steam comment. That's a Steam comment, so it's Pressurized Gas. I like how they framed the box for the carpet textures they used for the game. Yeah. This game is so silly. I love it. All right. Pressurized gas reviews. Do they say Steam on the Steam version? Okay, that's cool. Not recommended.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Yeah, I wonder how the voice actor, the voice talent feels also seeing it. I wonder how everybody feels in the production of this game because there's so much personality, and the fact that they're making light of it is very fun.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
It all is the narrator. Well, then again, the narrator's one of the best parts of the game.
Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. But the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices.
Okay, so now it starts.
Oh, you're back, you see? You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice. Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 40... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed
Nothing. Are you gonna... Hey, buddy. Hello? Narrator. Okay, guess not. It's beeping. That's annoying. That's a bad stem. We're gonna skip that.
But they didn't understand that
Oh my
game
God.
was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition.
Yeah.
But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said...
Silence. I wonder how long it's been.
The end is never the end.
Oh, shit.
Is never the end is never the end. Is
Yeah,
never
buddy?
The end is never the end. 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 Is never...
That plant really doobie died. Yeah, so far I'm pretty sad about it, but like I'm trying to make light of it. Oh. The room's starting to cave in. Nature's reclaiming. Oh. Oh, so close. So close to getting out. Smash that button. Plant! Oh, the music. No, it's dark. And there are no more plants. I don't like the noises going on outside. That's creepy. Nope. No thanks. A button. 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 Oh, fuck. Yeah, I think this... Oh, yeah, this is an apocalypse, alright. Damn. Where's this gonna take me? Oh, well, I was just about to turn around to look back. And I said, nah, Sam, you're done. You're done. Alright, so, I think it just restarts there. Probably. Yes, no, maybe so. Yes. Okay. This place used to represent his memories, and it was wiped out. Yeah. This is a pretty sad ending. We may or may not be in the apocalypse. Seems like we are. And Flame Knight, I am not particularly into fitness because I am disabled, so being into that is kind of difficult when being into that means, you know, being hurt. So it's a bit difficult for me to really get into it. I am about health and wellness though, just generally doing what is good for you and what you feel comfortable with. But otherwise I'm not a gym bro at all. I'm just kind of like, yeah. I live how I can. By the way, each time you quickly skipped the narrator, slowly but surely ended up going on some kind of monologue that loops. It's different each time. One of them was about him picking the better word. One was about the door behind you disappearing and him going to find it and not coming back. One is him just really not liking Cookie Nine's review about the skip button and more. Oh, that is really cool and clever, actually. I wonder how many variants of the dialogue there is. All right, so we're gonna take a really quick break because I've been going for 3 hours. And every 3 hours or so, I take a quick break to go get food, to use the restroom, to get some drinks and all that stuff, and to manage any symptoms that may have cropped up. I need to rub some painkillers on my knee. I gotta do that because my knee's killing me. But we will be back in just a little bit, about 10 to 20 minutes. So yeah, go get something to eat, go get something to drink, go chill out, do whatever you gotta do, and I'll see you guys back here in a little bit.